Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 Legendary Guide. So pretty much today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be going through chapter 1. Last time we just did the prologue and the introduction, so this one's going to be a bit longer. We're going to be going through the entire chapter 1. So let's start off the video with Buggy the Clown. This one, it's not that hard, I suppose. And in my last video, and I mentioned this in the description, I said that the prologue was hard. That was being sarcastic, and because I rewatched the video and I realized that it didn't sound sarcastic when I was saying it, or I only sounded slightly sarcastic. But anyways, for this mission, it's fairly easy. It's just that what you have to do is for the S ranks, I mean, it's really easy to get S ranks on this mission. It's kind of easier than it actually was on Romance Dawn, but all you gotta do basically is make sure you defeat it and beat the mission in like under 20 minutes, I think. And then get enough KOs. I don't remember the exact amount, but it's less than 2,000. You get enough exclamation marks, less than 1,000, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember it being that. Hard difficulty, pretty straightforward. Just make sure. Excuse me. Sorry. Make sure that you set the difficulty onto hard. Doesn't make much of a difference, I don't think. Defeat Buggy with a special Kazuna attack. These ones, actually, on most of the missions, I think the only two I can recall where it's not is on the 2 Water 7 missions. City of Water, Water 7, and Fist of Love don't have that for some reason, but most of the other missions do. Oh, wrong mission. So, yeah. And it's just easy. Make sure your Kazuna gauge is built up when you go to fight Buggy. And then here we have the last 2, which are the main ones that I made the series to discuss. Complete all treasure runs and clear a stage without the villager fleeing. Let's go over this one first. Make sure you just keep an eye on the villager the entire time. Make sure the villagers don't flee. You have to go into army info and look at their health and defend them, and make sure you defeat. And this is a good point that I heard. Make sure you defeat Alvida as soon as she appears. Who, by the way, in case you don't know who Alvida is, she's this female character with a cowboy hat right here. The other female character is Nami, and then of course that's Buggy. And for the last one, complete all the treasure events. Use Zoro to quickly gain control of enemy territory without taking any damage. I mean, just make sure that you get the territories, and I'm pretty sure it's not like just 1 bit of health and you're done. Just make sure you don't take too much damage. I think it might have something to do with the cannons, but I could be wrong. And use Luffy to track down Buggy without any leaving allies in a tight spot. Just make sure that you've helped out Zoro and Nami enough in that they're good and not really doing anything. It's not like they're going to be completely defending off other captains or anything. Just make sure they're okay. And yeah, for this you have to use Zoro, and for this you have to use Luffy. And another thing that I discussed over this, here I'm actually going to switch to Legend Log so that I don't, so that it's easier for this, but pretty much, geez, why does this take so long to connect? I'm very sorry about this, but usually it does not take this long. I hope this can go a bit faster. Come on. Alright, good. We're here. But if we go next, we have Luffy and Zoro as playable characters. I would recommend playing as Zoro just because he's a better character to play as. But really both characters are fine to play as. It's not like it's gonna make that much of a difference, and there's no rare coins you'll get from them. Of course, there are the 2 treasure events, but I mean, you have to use both of them either way to get the treasure events. So, now that we're done with that, I hope I can get this done within the time limit, but we have to do Captain Kuro of the 1,000 Plans. I mentioned in my top 5 best stages, that for the worst list, I know that's kind of confusing, but for the worst list, I said I had no contenders besides possibly this. Oh, also Buggy the Clown is a fine mission. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. I like it, personally. But with Captain Kuro of the 1,000 Plans, I didn't really like this mission that much. And it could have been on the worst list, but it would have been like the number 6 if it was on the top 5 worst. But there definitely are 5 missions I can easily think of that are much worse than this mission. This mission's just number 5, but let's go to the legend. Complete the mission. I mean, that's really easy. Get an S rank on everything. Just make sure that you get like the 1,000 and 2,000 for the 2,000 for the KOs and 1,000 for the exclamation marks. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, it's definitely not 1,500 and 300. And Kuro with the special Kazuna attack. I'm not going to go over this every episode. Just make sure you have your Kazuna attack filled up before fighting the main enemies. Since some enemies, once you get into the little area that they're in, the gates will close and you're not able to leave until you defeat the enemy. And then in which case, the mission is over. But with this special Kazuna, there are some missions where I will have to discuss that though, because like missions like Pirates vs. CP9 and the War's Conclusion have a little, I need kind of explanations. You need explanations for that. More S rank, and then play on a hard difficulty. I'm not gonna go over that one, like, again. Well, okay, I might, but I mean, like, I don't need to go over that one. Clear the stage without a villager fleeing. This one is really easy because I think you have to make sure the villagers don't flee just in the normal mission. It's not like an extra event or anything. But complete all the treasure runs. This is the part I don't like about the mission. Perform Usopp's strategy successfully. I mean, you kind of just got to make sure no one's coming to destroy Usopp's strategy, but it should work out fine. This is the one I don't like. Battle Kuro with Usopp. Now, when they say that, they do not mean play as Usopp and fight Kuro. He's not even available to play as in the Legendary for the Legend Law of this stage. What they mean by that is you have to have Usopp as a support. No, you might have to have Usopp as a support character. I don't think but you have to lure Kuro over to where Usopp is. And it's just an extremely awkward treasure event, and it can be kind of hard to pull off, but I was able to get it easily, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to too. But yeah, I mean, it's just not the easiest thing. And then the last thing we have to go over, who you should play as. Same thing as the last mission, really. I don't think it's really matters who you play as, since none of them affect anything. But of course, I like playing Zoro more, so there's that. Here we have the Dawn's Offer. This is probably my favorite mission in Chapter 1. I don't know, I just like it for some reason. Though, if I were to say something about it, it's that, I'm actually really glad I like it because I do not like, the Barriete arc that much. So I'm glad I like this mission at least. Complete the Dawn's Offer easy. S rank, I think it's a bit harder to get an S rank on this mission. Just make sure that spam your supports as much as possible. Make sure that you can get it. And then defeat Don Krieg using special Kazuna attack. Again, just make sure your gauge is filled up. And this one especially matters because, once Don Krieg uses special, like this attack, then a majority of the enemy units will flee. And then we have defeat Mihawk and complete all the treasure runs. I want to go over defeat Mihawk, and if we go to the treasure events, it's even the conditions for treasure event 2. Okay. 2 things you have to make sure of. 1, make sure you're ready for the fight and that you might be a few levels over. Because the overall mission, when you're fighting it, you do need to make sure that you're using your best skills, because you are going to need to replenish health during the fight, and it's not as easy as you would think. It's kind of like the battle with Aokiji and Fist of Love, except I think this one's a little bit easier, and I think it's even kind of similar to maybe the Blackbeard fight and the 100 Berry Man, but I think that might be stretching because the Blackbeard fight was pretty easy. But defeat Mihawk, not too bad, and complete all treasure events. Stop Don Krieg's first attack. Pretty much just make sure that you defeat Don Krieg when he appears. Don't go after his men, just defeat him. And then go after his men after, like the captains. Defeat Mihawk, I already went over that. And then this one, make sure that with the territories, they don't get captured. Defeat all the strong enemies. It's a good treasure event, so I'd even recommend doing it. Just watch it. But there's one thing I do want to go over with that treasure event. As you can see, we have the 3 playable characters: Luffy, Usopp, and Sanji. The character I would recommend playing as is Luffy. Here's why. I like playing as Sanji, and he's probably my favorite Straw Hat to play as. But you cannot get Treasure Event 3 if you use him. And I hate playing as Usopp, so I wouldn't recommend using him. So Luffy is definitely the best choice when you come to this, in my opinion. Because Usopp's not very fun to play as, and in order for the Treasure Event 3, you can't get it. But here we have Arlong Park. Complete Arlong Park. Easy. S rank, I think it's fairly easy in this mission, so just do everything I've told you before in this episode. Hard difficulty, of course, just set it to hard difficulty. Defeat Arlong using special Kazuna attack, build up your gauge, and I think it actually does matter in this fight, because I think he might actually close the gates, but I can't remember. And then, go straight without a villager fleeing, just make sure that you keep an eye on them. I can't remember if this one's like the Kuro one, where you have to make sure that they don't flee if you want to clear the mission or not. But yeah, there's that. And complete all treasure events. Let's just go over these quickly. I think I might be almost past my time limit. Use Sanji to perform the first strategy within the time limit. Just make sure that you defeat everything, all the things, so that you can go past the waterways. I'm pretty sure that's what the strategy is for. Protect all the villagers. Well, you already need to do that. Use Zoro to defeat Hatchin twice. Just use Zoro to battle Hatchin. Pretty straightforward. Track down Arlong without any of the Straw Hat pirates fleeing. Make sure none of the Straw Hats flee, just like the villagers, so that you can track down Arlong and get the treasure event. I'm still a bit confused on treasure event 1, but I know I completely understand how to do the other ones, because I'm pretty sure I was not the one to play that. Or I think it's just do what I think that's what it means. I'm pretty sure. But S ranks against, I think you might need a little bit more, like the 1,500 and 3,000 KOs for this one. Defeat Tashigi using a special Kazuna attack. That one kind of confused me, because I feel like it should be defeat Smoker with a special Kazuna attack, but whatever. Oh, you have to do both. Okay, that makes more sense. So I guess there is no extra requirement for this mission. And for the treasure events, the only one I really need, okay, Zoro to battle Tashigi, definitely the easiest one out of the 3 treasure events. Destroy the lightning rod on block Buggy's progress. This should be, I mean, all you have to do is destroy the lightning rods. And you use Luffy to battle Alvida. That one is, in my opinion, the hardest one, and only because sometimes it doesn't work when I tried to do it. Like one time I tried to do it, the question mark showed up, I was playing as Luffy, and for some reason it just didn't work. But then eventually it ended up working, and it was all good. That's gonna end off this episode. I think I'm almost past my time limit. So goodbye, everyone, and have a great day.